Am I the a hole for telling my girlfriend that being depressed is not an excuse for being lazy? I literally just found this one. As somebody who's dealt with depression, I feel like I can have a good input on this, so we'll see how this goes. I, 29, have always supported my girlfriend, 23. We have been together for 4 years and lived together for one. She has always had anxiety as well as depression, where some months are worse than others. I have supported her through all of this and understand it is very hard for her. In January, she lost her job due to the current world circumstances, so this was 6 years ago, so during COVID. By March, she hit a low point with not eating as much, crying, irritability, typical traits of depression. I have comforted her as much as possible and taken care of everything. However, at the beginning of June, I was allowed back to work, and since the house had fallen to shambles, I am too tired by the time I come home to do anything, even cook. Most nights we order takeout, and on the rare occasion she makes food. The floors aren't being washed, hoovering isn't being done, laundry is a mountain, and dishes are everywhere. I try to keep on top of it, but with work, it's almost impossible. She is home all day. She lies in bed till late afternoon, watches Netflix, eats bowls of cereals, and naps. That's about it. I've tried to gently coax her to do more, and she just says that she will get to it but never does. I finally snapped. Told her I was sick of her doing nothing all day and leaving the housework to me. That is, if she is here and I am working, she needs to be pulling her weight. She got upset and said that she wants to, but she can never find the motivation, that she's tired all the time. I said I understood she was depressed, but it's not an excuse to do nothing and be lazy. No one likes housework, but I won't take any more excuses about it. She needs to start doing it or leave. Next day, I come home to a clean house and a note from her saying she was sorry and is going to stay with her mother. Her mom helped her clean before they left. I tried calling, but she wouldn't pick up. When I rang the house, her mother answered and had a lot to say. She was furious, telling me about how she is struggling and I am making her worse, that I should be supporting her, not ignoring that she's in a bad place, and so on. I was told my girlfriend had been crying all day in her bedroom, and I feel awful. I never wanted to hurt her, I just snapped. I tried to get her mother to give my girlfriend the phone, but she wouldn't speak to me. It feels like a lose lose situation. On one hand, I know depression results in lack of motivation and cleanliness, and on the other, I can't stand to see our home in such chaos. I've never had depression, so I can't say for sure how bad it truly is. That's why I find it more difficult to 100% empathize. Am I the a hole for telling her depression isn't an excuse? Extra info. She has a therapist and talks regularly with them. Her depression is worse since losing her job. Usually she is quite clean and tidy. We don't usually have this issue. She is looking for a job despite depression, etc. I have enough money to support us both in the meantime. I This one's hard. Like I said, I have depression, so I can empathize with the girlfriend. I mean, it is a very hard thing to manage. All the time when people tell you, like, oh, you just need to go out and, exercise and be healthy and be in the sun and all these things, it's like, yeah, I do those things. You don't think that I do those things to try and help my depression? You think I want to be depressed? Do you think I just want to be sad all the time and hate my life? No, right? Depression is no matter what anybody wants to say anymore, the science is there. People have researched this. There is proof that it changes the chemicals in your brain. There's nothing you can do about it when you have it other than seek therapy and take medication and all that. And some people don't like to take medication. And so they find other ways to handle those types of things. But it's not just like I can snap my fingers and depression be gone. I wish, right? So in this instance, like, losing your job would definitely like make it worse. And I think if I put myself in this situation, I have had times like this where in my life I have just had so much going on that the house just gets put on the back burner. And my husband does not have depression, so I have been in these types of situations. He's never snapped at me. I don't think that that's how the original poster should have responded. But I also don't think he's an a-hole for it. I don't think anyone in this situation is an a-hole. I think they are going through a really tough time, and they're both handling it in ways that they best can. And so they're just in a really bad situation right now. As he said, she wasn't this type of person before. Her depression is just really taking a toll on her. And the best thing he can do is be supportive. But I don't think, snapping at her was not the answer. I think you have to just talk to people at their level. So, just sitting down with her and really telling her how he felt, and asking what he can do to help. And I understand he's in a situation where he feels like he's at his max, but sometimes that's what relationships are, is you've got to give a little bit more to help your other person, because then when it reverses, right? When you're going through a time, you want your partner to be able to help you. That's what a relationship is at the end of the day, is, you know, wanting to be with each other because you love each other and working together as a team. It's not one person against the other ever. It's two people trying to coexist and love each other on the same level. And um relationship advice I always see can be very like one-sided. It's like, well, they're doing wrong or they're doing wrong. But at the end of the day, people are human, they make mistakes, nobody's perfect. And this is a situation I see where, you know, it could have been handled a little bit differently, but I can't be upset that he snapped either, because he has a lot on his plate. He is supporting the household and he's tired too. And from his point of view, not having depression, not fully understanding it, he sees somebody just hanging around doing nothing all day. And so I get the frustration in that. And in reality, that's not the situation. Right? All I can say at this point is that the both of them honestly just need to sit down and talk out what's happening, how both are feeling, and what solution they can work through together. Because like I said, at the end of the day, you're a team. So sitting down and just being like, hey, let's talk this out. Let's try and figure out how we can both come out of this situation better, right? And, if you guys talk it out and work through it, and you end up finding like this isn't the type of relationship you want to be in, it's, again, no one's the a-hole at the end of this. People go through things. Yes, in relationships, you want to stick with somebody. Marriage is sticking with somebody through sickness and health, absolutely. But we also always, as human, have the ability to set boundaries with ourselves and can decide whether or not we want to handle a situation like this. Mental illness, physical illness, they're not in people's control necessarily, but at the end of the day, you decide what you can handle in this life. And if the original poster decides, what, I can't handle someone with depression, that's his decision. It's not a happy decision, but it is a decision. And then in her side, she needs to be with somebody that can help her and understand what she's going through and all of those things. So yeah, depression is really hard. And again, this situation is just a poor situation to be in for anyone. And I really hope, there's no update on this. This was 6 years ago, but I really hope they were able to work through it together and just find a way to, better the situation for the both of them, or, decide that this was not going to work anymore and that they needed to part ways and move on in their lives, separately, whatever the case may be. And it's just a really bad situation. So what do you think? Especially for people who have depression, have you been in this situation before? How do you handle these types of things? For people who don't understand depression, what can you do to learn more about it and just be more understanding of people going through it, Anyway, I can say here, no one is a jerk here, no one is an a-hole. It's just a bad situation, so.